Have you ever noticed how some of nature's most powerful creatures don't need to announce themselves? They just exist, quietly, confidently, completely in control. The snow leopard is that kind of energy. They call it the ghost of the mountains, silent, elusive, almost mystical. But this ghost isn't hunting anyone. It's just out here thriving where most life taps out. Hello, wild vibers. Vibes of a Wildlife here. Welcome to another video where we dive into the heart, humor, and unexpected life lessons from the animal kingdom. Now, picture this: freezing winds, cliffs sharp enough to slice clouds, air so thin it feels like breathing through a straw, and right there, a cat moves like it's floating, calm, unbothered, effortless. It's not the loudest predator in the world, but it might just be one of the most impressive. What I love about the snow leopard is how it flips the script on what we think strength is. It's not about roaring, posturing, or being seen. It's about quiet mastery, knowing exactly who you are and where you stand, even if no one's watching. So, before we get into it, if you love learning from nature's quirks as much as I do, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to join the Wild Vibers community. So, let's start at the top, literally, with a creature built to rule the roof of the world. Imagine living in a place where the air feels thin enough to slice, where the wind doesn't just blow, it bites. That's the home of the snow leopard. This cat thrives between 9,800 and 17,000 feet above sea level, in the icy ridges of the Himalayas and Central Asia. Up there, the world is brutal, barren, and breathtaking. A place where only the most specialized creatures survive. And the snow leopard, it doesn't just survive, it owns it. Everything about its body is built for altitude. That thick fur, up to 5 inches long, works like a personal parka, trapping warmth even when the temperature drops below zero. Its wide, fur-covered paws act like snowshoes, gliding over ice and snow without sinking. Short forelimbs and long, muscular hind legs give it the power to climb near vertical cliffs with ease. The kind of terrain that would leave most animals gasping. And those broad chests and oversized nasal passages? That's nature's built-in oxygen system, warming and filtering the air before it even hits their lungs. But even a mountain ghost needs a place to rest. When storms roll in and the world turns white, the snow leopard doesn't fight the elements, it outsmarts them. It retreats into rocky caves, tucked cliff ledges, or narrow crevices that block the wind. Inside, it curls up tight, wrapping that long, thick tail around itself like a heated blanket. That tail isn't just for balance, it's its own survival tool, a perfect piece of design in an unforgiving world. And maybe that's the real magic of this animal. It doesn't fight against its environment, it works with it. Every instinct, every movement, every adaptation is about harmony, not resistance. The snow leopard reminds us that when life gets rough, maybe the key isn't to power through every storm, but to adapt to it. Because when the world gets cold, strength isn't always about standing tall. Sometimes it's about knowing when to find shelter, preserve your energy, and wait for the sun to return. Adaptation isn't giving up, it's strategy. And in that quiet, deliberate way, the snow leopard shows us how resilience isn't about control, it's about flow. Now, let's talk about one of the snow leopard's greatest tricks, the disappearing act. This cat doesn't just blend in, it vanishes. Its coat is a masterpiece, smoky gray with soft rosettes and cloud-like spots that look like the mountain itself decided to grow fur. What's wild is that this coat actually changes with the seasons. In winter, it thickens and brightens to match the snow-covered cliffs. In summer, it sheds down to a shorter, slightly darker layer that mirrors the rocky slopes. No matter the season, it's dressed to disappear. Against that rugged terrain of stone and shadow, the snow leopard becomes a ghost. You could be staring right at one and never know it's there. Even local herders who live their whole lives in those mountains rarely catch a glimpse. That's exactly how the snow leopard likes it. It's not hiding, it's mastering the art of subtlety. Every movement is calculated. Those padded paws glide across the snow in total silence, muffling every step. When it hunts, it's all patience and precision. The snow leopard will stalk for hours, sometimes longer, just watching, waiting for the perfect moment. And when it finally moves, it's instant. One powerful leap, one clean strike, and it's done. Blue sheep, ibex, marmots, hares, all fall to a predator that never needed to roar to be feared. There's something magnetic about that kind of power. The snow leopard doesn't chase chaos or crave attention. It's not out here trying to prove anything. It just moves with intention. That's real confidence. The kind that doesn't shout but still commands respect. And honestly, that's a lesson worth holding on to. Not every battle needs noise. Not every success needs an audience. Sometimes the smartest move is to stay still, blend in, and wait for the right moment to make your mark. The snow leopard reminds us that patience and precision can be just as powerful and way more graceful than brute force. Here's where the snow leopard stops being mysterious and starts being downright unbelievable. This cat doesn't just move through the mountains, it defies them. Picture this, a creature leaping more than 50 feet in a single bound. That's the length of a city bus, across cliffs so narrow most of us wouldn't even walk along them. And it lands with the kind of grace that makes physics look like it's got some explaining to do. You know what? That kind of precision isn't luck, it's mastery. And a lot of that comes down to one very underrated body part, the tail. 3 feet long, thick as a rope, and covered in plush fur. It's not just a tail, it's a multi-tool. When the snow leopard's mid-leap, that tail acts like a tightrope walker's pole, keeping every twist and turn perfectly balanced. When the hunt's over and the cold settles in, that same tail wraps around its body like a scarf. Cozy, functional, and stylish. I mean, nature really outdid herself on that one. What gets me is how controlled it all is. There's no chaos, no wasted energy. Even when it's chasing prey across cliffs or landing on ledges no wider than your hand, the snow leopard moves like it's choreographed, a silent ballet in the middle of nowhere. It's power with purpose, motion without panic. And that's the real takeaway here, balance. Mastery isn't about jumping at every opportunity or forcing your next move. It's about timing, knowing when to leap and when to stay still, when to give your all and when to conserve your energy. The snow leopard doesn't just live by that, it embodies it. In a world that tells us to keep climbing, keep hustling, keep moving faster, there's something refreshing about an animal that shows us how grace and control can be just as powerful as speed and force. Sometimes success isn't about the leap itself. It's about landing exactly where you meant to. Here's something you might not expect from a big cat. The snow leopard can't roar, at all. Its throat just isn't built for it. No thunder rolling through the valley, no king of the mountain announcement. And honestly, that's probably for the best. Because if it could roar up there, it might just start an avalanche. Imagine that. One dramatic flex and boom, half the mountainside's coming down. Even Mother Nature knew some powers are best kept on mute. Instead, this cat speaks in a quieter language, and every sound has purpose. A soft chuff is like their friendly hey when greeting another snow leopard. A gentle acknowledgement that says, I come in peace. A low growl, that's the backup warning, usually reserved for anyone bold enough to step too close to their territory or their meal. The hiss is pure attitude, short, sharp, and meant to shut things down quick. And those little mews, that's reserved for family. Parents calling cubs, cubs calling back. Those private, tender conversations you'll never hear unless you're really, really lucky. What's so powerful is how measured it all is. Nothing wasted, no shouting just to be heard. The snow leopard uses sound the same way it moves, deliberately, intentionally, and only when it truly matters. It doesn't posture, doesn't overreact, doesn't perform. It communicates, then it goes right back to calm. And that's the kind of strength we don't talk about enough. We live in a world that rewards the loudest voices, but the snow leopard reminds us that presence doesn't always require volume. It's not the noise that makes you powerful, it's the control. And here's something to think about. Quiet doesn't mean weak, it means centered. It means you're so sure of who you are, you don't need to echo through the valley to prove it. The snow leopard doesn't roar, but somehow the silence speaks louder than anything else on the mountain. If there's one thing the snow leopard understands better than almost any creature, it's solitude. This cat doesn't run in packs or travel with company. It walks alone. And that's not just a personality quirk, it's survival instinct. Their territories can stretch over 500 square miles, carved across steep ridges where prey is scarce and the air is razor thin. There's no luxury of sharing space up there. Every inch of mountain, every hidden pass matters. Being solitary isn't loneliness, it's strategy. And yet, what's fascinating is how this high-altitude ghost connects to its distant cousin, the leopard of Africa. Same lineage, completely different world. While the African leopard thrives in savannas, forests, and plains, weaving its life through trees and tall grass, the snow leopard moves in silence, through snow and stone. One melts into shadow, the other disappears into mist. Both are masters of solitude, but the snow leopard takes it to a whole other level, where the cost of company could be survival itself. Each snow leopard marks its range with quiet precision. Scent trails on rocks, scrapes in the snow. Subtle signals that say, this mountain's spoken for. Most of the time, that's enough. They respect the code. But when another snow leopard crosses the line, things shift fast. You won't see a roar or a brawl right away. Remember, this animal is about control, not chaos. First comes a stare, then a posture. The kind of body language that says, you sure you want to test this? If the intruder doesn't back down, it can turn into a brief, brutal clash. Not drawn out, not showy, just decisive. A reminder that solitude doesn't mean soft. It's an interesting contrast to the leopard down in Africa. A cat that can roar, stalks prey in groups of opportunity, and occasionally overlaps with others in its range. The snow leopard's voice, by comparison, is quiet. No thunder through the valley, no announcement of dominance. Its strength lies in silence. Where the African leopard rules by presence, the snow leopard reigns by absence. And when it comes to raising cubs, that independence runs even deeper. The mother does it all alone. 18 to 22 months of teaching her young how to move silently, to hunt precisely, and to respect the same territorial rhythm that keeps her alive. Once the cubs are grown, she lets them go without hesitation. It's not cold, it's instinct. She knows that to survive in a world like this, they'll need to learn how to be alone, too. But the truth is, there aren't many of them left to carry that legacy. Fewer than 7,000 snow leopards remain in the wild, pushed to the edges by poaching, habitat loss, and conflict with herders. And yet, they endure, adjusting, surviving, reclaiming whatever peaks they can. Their cousin in Africa thrives across a continent. The snow leopard fights for inches of mountain. But both, in their own ways, are testament to adaptability. Proof that nature builds survivors for every landscape. That's what I love about them. The snow leopard doesn't crave company, applause, or validation. Its solitude is peace, not punishment. Its boundaries aren't walls, they're balance. It knows its worth, its rhythm, its place. From mountain ghosts to graceful survivors, the snow leopard shows us that solitude isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Because sometimes, walking alone isn't about avoiding others, it's about protecting the space that keeps you whole. So when you step back and look at it, the snow leopard story really is something else. It's a masterclass in adaptation, balance, silence, and strength. Proof that true presence doesn't need to make noise to be felt. This animal doesn't demand attention, it earns it, just by being perfectly in tune with this world. And maybe that's the lesson for us. Power doesn't always show up loud or obvious. Sometimes it's the quiet kind, steady, grounded, and unshakable. So, Wild Vibers, what's your version of quiet strength? Drop it in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more dives into the heart, humor, and unexpected life lessons from the animal kingdom. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, stay wild, stay curious, and remember, even the softest footprints can echo through the mountains.